Hi everybody, hey, I'm Dr. Julie, or Dr. Julie Steinauer as my patients know me. I'm also known as Dr. Julie Mompreneur in some of my other avenues of life and just entrepreneurship. So today I want to break down one of the most common visual conditions that will tend to cause headaches in individuals. And I'm going to show you some test results from individuals who suffer from this problem as well as suffering from headaches. So we're going to hopefully debunk some of this, make it make sense, and let's dive right in. All right, so one of the most common visual conditions that causes headaches is a condition called convergence insufficiency. Now what is that? Well, what it is it's a condition where whenever we go to look at something up close and we have to cross in our eyes and align them to a target, one eye maybe lags behind and it doesn't cross in quite as well or as good as the other eye. So this is called a convergence insufficiency, where we have difficulty crossing them in to line up to the target. Well, what does that look like in tests? Well, the tests are not exactly exclusive to convergence insufficiency. However, they are something that we'll see really common with the condition, but it doesn't have to be this exactly. So let's take a look at them. So I have two here. All right, so the first one, all right, may or may not look like this. You're going to see a variety of things. Okay, so in this particular test, what they do is they look at an instrument, they see this rectangle with the circle, and then it superimposes on the right side and the left side for them to be able to trace, and they just trace over the top of it. Now, in cases of a convergence insufficiency, we can have a gamut of things happen. So let me show you another one. Okay, I'll show you two, and you can kind of see. This is one. I'm going to cover up my face here. This is another one. So two totally different things happening. In this one, we have the brain completely ignoring one eye. It's not even showing up. The brain is only processing an image from one eye. And in this one, we have the information showing up from two eyes. However, we have some inconsistencies. Things has shifted and moved here, shifted and moved here, and the spacing between them is off. We can kind of see that they don't look the same from side to side. Okay, so those are two tests, totally different outcomes as a result of the exact same problem. Now we're going to look at another test here. Okay, this one is slightly different. And on this test, we call this one a VO star. They have a pencil in each hand. They start up at the top at the 5 and down here at the bottom with the 5. And they draw until it looks like their pencil tips are touching, kind of like this. If I can do it that way and do a scissor chop. All right, so this is one test. But then let's make a comparison of how this looks for another individual. So see how this one is totally different. Very interesting because the same visual conditions are going on, all right? But this individual is having a little bit more of a difficult time than this individual is. Isn't that interesting? All right, so now let's go on. We're gonna look at one other test. Okay, now on this one, I actually have just one to show you. Well, just one moment. Maybe I have two to show you. Let's see if I can pull one more off of my desk. That would be a great comparison. Sorry that I'm not in the picture here. I think they're about the same. So really, I like this one. Okay, so on this one, this is a test of visual span or attention field. So visual span and attention field is what this test is all about. It's not necessarily just a side vision test or peripheral vision test. Right, so in this one we have an individual who has a convergence problem. Again, this is not exclusive to convergence. We see this in many other visual conditions. But as a result of this individual having a tough time using the two eyes together and lining them up together as a team, the brain has decided to select out some information to make it easier to process. In this particular case, for this individual, it selected out some information out here, so it's constricted down to a point at which it's kind of like having a tunnel vision like this. All right, so in order to deal with our visual environment, many times the brain will realize that conflicting information out here in our world is just too much to tolerate and handle. And so it will naturally constrict in or tunnel vision down. The more significant the visual problem, typically, although not 100%, but typically, the more we will see the brain tunnel vision down to try to control the problem and be a little bit more comfortable with it. So breaking down, what is convergence insufficiency? Again, it's the inability to keep the eyes crossed in and lined up to a specific target to see one single image. They may actually see a double image, okay? Which the double image is, instead of seeing one of everything, we see two, side to side, or even moving like this is very common, side to side. So if you've ever heard a child say, whenever I'm reading, the print wiggles around on the page, or it seems like it smears or slides off the page, okay, that can indicate a visual problem such as convergence insufficiency. So if your child is struggling in school with behavior, or struggling in school with reading, or maybe just getting headaches, those are going to be our three key things to look for as potential problems associated with convergence insufficiency. So once again, let's go through them again. Convergence insufficiency is the #1 reason why kids actually get misdiagnosed as ADHD. So that's one. All right, are they staying attentive? Can they stay focused? Maybe it's a problem with them for behavior of sitting still. #2, is it affecting them to the point of they're struggling with reading? Or #3, do they just have headaches? And I don't want to say just have headaches, because headaches can be bad enough, especially if they're getting them on a regular basis. But those are the three things to look at. Are they comprehending well, sitting still well, able to read, having any kind of behavior disorders or anything of that nature? And then 3, do we see that they have headaches or they're tired at the end of the day? Those are 3 things to look for a child who may have, or an adult who may have, convergence insufficiency. I hope you guys found this very helpful today. As you hop in on here, many of you are going to be hopping in to watch this on the replay, so let me know that you hopped in on the replay. But also, if you know someone that you think this sounds like it could be them, please tag them in this video. Let's have a conversation that gets started talking back and forth, because perhaps they didn't even know this sort of thing existed, and they didn't even know that this sort of thing could be corrected. And it can be corrected. Okay, so in my clinic, we are prescribing a program like physical therapy for the brain and eyes that actually retrains the brain how to control the process of vision, open up this field, remediate the type of visual skill problems that leads to something like this, which should look symmetrical and like a triangle on each side, or like this. This is a little bit closer to what it should look like. And also get the brain paying attention to both eyes equally, so that we have more coordination of information. Okay, this is another test. Help them with reading, help them to reduce the signs and symptoms, such as maybe they're struggling with headaches or struggling with comprehension, performing in the classroom. Maybe again, they just look like they have something going on like inattentiveness or ADHD. So tag people in this video, because it's super important to pass along the good word that there's actually things that can be done to help. And with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in, and please drop any comments that you have down in the section below. I'm happy to answer those for you later on, and be awesome. See ya.